I'm Donald Moffat.
And I'm Heather Menzies. Logan's Run will not be on tonight.
But stay tuned for the Charlie Brown special and the Fat Albert Halloween special.
And we'll be back next Monday night.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Hi, I'm Alex Ross.
The two pieces are sort of a type. They're both kind of recreations of artwork that existed in the 90s. In fact, this piece here for the Avengers is in most ways a recreation or a tribute to George Perez's poster version from the mid-90s, where he did a shot that featured in it a figure of Captain America that was very similar to what I've done here, positioning of the Vision or positioning of Hawkeye, and I believe a few other elements are very similar to that piece, and it's consciously so. I was building off that inspiration, but I kind of refitted my design to fill out bigger shots of the figures so that I was making a wider composition and getting in a lot of the same characters, but still not quite as many as what George himself did, because George's thing was always to try and get in the maximum amount of content into pieces that he did.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time again for another, Trek Watch and other things. We are going to have some Star Trek news, but of course, right now, there are some good shows in progress. Like, even Doctor Who still has one more episode before we get to the new year, the Christmas special coming up. And of course, Monarch continuing to kick ass. I also wanted to talk about the Saturn Awards. One of the things involving Star Trek, because lots of nominations for Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and also the other categories like sci-fi and superhero films. So good to see Mitch, good to see Franco, good to see Wayne. And let's start with the Hugos, or rather the Saturns, if you don't mind, guys, because I think it's
ridiculous that they're having awards for outer space.
Yeah, I like Jupiter better than all the rest.
Yeah.
Well, Mitch, your guy, the Indiana Jones movie managed to get a few awards.
9, actually. 9! Like
there you go. I didn't even
know, but 9 is in that movie.
Right.
Of course, it would have been nicer if it got, box office, because, that's all it really counts.
Yeah, well, you're right, I suppose. But I think it's cool. For Best Science Fiction Film, we got Avatar, The Way of Water, The Creator, Megan, Prey, and the latest Transformers movie, Rise of the Beasts. And for fantasy films, that's where Indiana Jones is, along with Barbie, Dungeons and Dragons, Haunted Mansion, are you kidding? And The Little Mermaid. And I'm going to continue to scroll down. I don't give a shit about it.
I like Dungeons and Dragons more than I thought I was going to.
Really? I still haven't seen it.
It made you want to watch a Star Trek movie after it, because Chris Pine was amazing in it.
Isn't it weird? He's like, they asked him if he wants to still do superhero movies. He said no, but he, and I guess maybe, it's post Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. Do we give it? I'll do best horror if you want. Barbarian, Evil Dead Rise, Insidious. Renfield, Scream 6, Smile, and Talk to Me. Not to be confused with the Don Cheadle.
Renfield is a horror movie. It's I thought it was more comedy.
Yeah, but of course,
there's gore in it, but doesn't mean that it's horror.
It's a vampire movie. I don't know how to break it to you, Wayne, but that counts as horror. I sorry, no, that's like Deadpool's a superhero.
Like saying Twilight's horror movie.
Twilight is a horror.
No, it's not. It's a soap opera. It's a teen thing.
I disagree. I humbly disagree. but that's fine. That's good. I'm glad we have conflict. Conflict is good. Let's see here. Best superhero films. Boy, here's a cockroach race. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Blue Beetle, The Flash, and Guardians Volume 3.
So basically the movies that got released.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty. Really, is there one that was released that is not on this list? I don't think so.
No. Nope.
Wait a minute. No, there's got to be because
No.
well,
No,
I don't
got
know.
'em all.
I don't know when the cutoff was, but obviously the Marvels isn't on this list.
Oh yeah. No.
But I don't know when the cutoff is, which is ironic because also when we get to TV, and I suppose there's specials or whatever. But I was kind of surprised Doctor Who was not on the list. But what are you gonna do?
Maybe November 1 was the cutoff.
Maybe best action films: Bullet Train, The Equalizer, Fast 10,
Expendables 4.
No.
What?
Do you have a list, Mitch? Then wait for the list, and then by all means say, hey, how come that's not on there? But like
Well, I just want to prove the point that they're not going for every movie, just like you said with the superhero movie, because.
But there are still ones that are on the list, Mitch. And then let's discuss the ones that are not on, like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, and The Woman King. That's it. Now, your thoughts, sir?
Expendables 4 should have been on it.
I liked Bullet Train.
Yeah, I did too.
It was a lot of fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
Best thriller films. All right, now here's where I'd be like, really? Oppenheimer? Thriller?
It was thrilling. I'm going to disagree with you, Johnny. If Twilight is a horror movie, Oppenheimer is a thriller.
Don't Worry, Darling. The Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery. The Lesson. The Menu, which I agree with that.
Yeah.
And Knock at the Cabin.
Let me tell you something. The Glass Onion surprised the heck out of me. I knew it was going to be good because I liked Knives Out.
Yeah.
But Janelle Monáe,
Yes.
So good in that movie. So underrated. I'm like, oh, she's a singer. She can't. They just put her in there because. But she was really good in that movie.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
She's great. I love her in Hidden Figures too. She's really good in that.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she's one of the three women. Yeah,
I did not know that was her. I like that movie as well.
She's the one who wants to be an engineer, and she goes to the court, and is kind of pleads her case to let her do night school as an engineer and stuff.
I didn't realize that was her. I like that movie too, and I liked Taraji P. Henson. Is that her name? Jay Henson or something like that. The lead actress.
She was amazing.
She was.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember her from the that TV show with the Jim Caviezel guy.
Persons of Interest.
Yeah, I like that show, and she was in it. Yeah. I remember that.
She, ironically, I mentioned Talk to Me earlier. She's in the Don Cheadle Talk to Me. She plays Don Cheadle's girlfriend in that movie. Big fan. That's a movie about a controversial DJ in Washington D.C. During all the civil rights activity and everything. Great movie.
I would say Knock at the Cabin is more horror than thriller, just because M. Night directed it. If you actually watch it, I'd say it's similar to like a Last House on the Left.
Okay. Continuing, let's see. Animation, Elemental, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Spider-Verse, Super Mario, Suzanne, and that's an anime. And Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Okay.
You know what? That Last Wish, the Puss in Boots movie.
Yes.
That was really good.
Was it?
It was. I saw it on a plane ride somewhere, and I'm like, let me just throw this on. Not realizing I had missed the one before it. I think.
I was talking to Jeff Parker the other night. He hadn't seen that Chip and Dale movie, and I'm like, I was going to watch either, but Franco raved about it, and I'm like, he was right. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny movie. Yeah.
Who says we're not getting good movies? We're getting some good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All this was released within the last year. It goes to show you what kind of a year maybe I've had, because I don't remember half of these things coming out.
Best actor in film, you got Harrison Ford, of course, Ralph Fiennes for The Menu, Sir Ben Kingsley for Jules, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Chris Pratt for Guardians 3, Keanu Reeves for John Wick 4, and Sam Worthington for Avatar.
How
Pretty
many of
good.
these guys show up to these awards and accept them? It's not like the Academy Awards where everybody shows up, I would assume, right?
Like a
Yeah, I don't
publicist
know.
thinks it probably.
I wish they would either air or stream the Saturn Awards.
I'm sure in today's day and age they probably do somewhere.
I don't know. Not sure. All right, let's continue. What else do we got? Best Actress, Viola Davis in The Woman King, Mia Goth in Pearl, Anna Taylor-Joy from The Menu, of course, Amber Midthunder from Prey, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and Zoe Saldana for Avatar. Supporting actors, Nick Cage, Robert Downey, interesting for Renfield, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Michael Keaton for The Flash, Stephen Lang for Avatar, Mads Mikkelsen for Indiana Jones.
I like him a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
Me too.
But can I ask you a question, Johnny? Are these the 2023 or the 2024? Like,
Well, they're for this year, and I believe I think it's. You're gonna make me go back up to the top again.
Sorry.
That's all right.
2024.
Who votes for these?
Well, they're giving them out then, but it's for the body of work of 23.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the awards them. It's like the Oscars are always for the previous year. So don't get silly. Go ahead. What do you got?
You can watch it on
Electric Now. I just looked it up. Yeah. Electric Now.
Now.tv. All right.
Yeah.
Do I have to pay for it or is it free?
Like a science bro.
You're asking for too much. We got you the info, and now you want more.
Exactly.
Supporting actress, Phoebe Waller-Bridge for Indiana Jones, Angela Bassett for Wakanda, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Jane Curtin for Jules. I didn't know she was in it. Melissa McCarthy for The Little Mermaid, and Sophie Wilde for Talk to Me. They have younger performer. What? I'm not doing that. You look it up for yourself. And then later, let's get the TV. Because that's the interesting shit, I think. There's tons of, my God, it's going to be just like the Oscars, like 3-hour show. I hope they don't have a music interlude. Best science fiction TV series. You got Andor, Foundation, Mandalorian, Peripheral, Silo, Picard, and Strange New Worlds. And then fantasy television, one of Franco's favorite shows, Ghosts, Good Omens from Amazon, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Mayfair Witches from AMC, Schmigadoon, very good show on Apple, and of course Wednesday from Netflix. Now that's interesting and kind of supports Wayne's thing because Wednesday is listed as a fantasy television series. And I suppose it's not hardcore.
Probably more horror, right?
I would think so, but what do I know? I'm in the minority for a change.
Well, nothing, because you didn't think Oppenheimer was a thriller.
Yeah.
Was it a real thriller? I mean, I like it a lot, but I don't know.
I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see if the world blew up, Johnny.
Exactly.
Horror TV shows: American Horror Story, Chucky, Fear the Walking Dead, From MGM Plus, Interview with a Vampire, The Last of Us, and What We Do in the Shadows, which is our favorite.
You know, I forgot that Interview with a Vampire was actually a show now.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody watching it or has watched it.
Yeah.
And
it's okay. It's so part of the Anne Rice verse. So Mayfair Witches and Interview with a Vampire is all taking place in the same universe.
Is Mayfair Witches the one with Alexandra Daddario? Okay.
Big fan.
Stamford, Connecticut's own.
I'm telling there are far too many celebrities in Connecticut.
I know. I was like, because I was talking to her agent the other day about
how big's your state? Like,
we're the third biggest state in the union.
Okay.
Rhode Island, and then like
Third smallest state in the
Well,
union.
Yeah,
where
the smallest state.
smallest state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They're biggest
But
state.
loaded with rich
Yeah, there's
motherfuckers.
California, Texas, and Connecticut. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Like
richest
like
people.
the per
Alaska.
capita
You gotta
celebrities
Alaska.
per capita where you are is
Yeah.
similar to like in the Cayman Islands, the
Pretty
number
much.
of corporations per capita.
You drive around some of these neighborhoods, you see these houses that are like small countries. You're like, oh my, oh my.
Let's see.
Not
Best
my house.
superhero. I'm sorry. Say it again, son. All right. Best superhero television series: Doom Patrol, The Flash, Sandman, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, Stargirl, Superman, and Lois. That's a tough category.
Did they get
Wayne
it
says
all?
no. He's
No,
dead set against you.
I'm just
What
sort of
about
debating
Umbrella
between
Academy?
Doom Patrol and Stargirl.
Yeah, but what about Umbrella Academy? That was this year, wasn't it? Part 3? Part 2?
I think so.
Was it
Yeah.
this year?
Well, there's an
Yeah.
exception, like you were looking for in movies. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe if you got a number in the title, they don't get you.
Well, the studios are the ones that put up the nominations.
Oh,
So I don't know. I don't know why. If it would have been Netflix, I don't know. I don't know.
for the Saturn Awards too?
I'm assuming it's like every other awards thing.
See, I always thought it was voted on by like, nerd people like Isaac Asimov and Harlan Ellison and Starlog magazine,
Well, Mitch, I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done going through the nominees, I'm gonna check, because you're right. I know I think you're right. I think the Saturns might be like the People's Choice, where people can do it. You're probably right.
Yes, you can buy a membership if you donate.
Oh, see, there you go.
Okay,
If we all do that, then we can have the fix in for next year.
Wait,
Let's see.
where's Quantum Leap? That wasn't on there? Wasn't that this
coming
year?
up? Funny you should say, Mitch, because it is
That's
for
coming.
best action, adventure, or thriller TV series. You got La Brea, Manifest, Outlander, Quantum Leap, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, The
Really?
Witcher, and Yellow Jacket.
Tom
Well,
Ryan?
I can see that'd be Jack Ryan, but I can see that for action adventure.
Yes.
In the age of streaming, I have no idea when any of this stuff came out, because like you're going over these titles, and I'm thinking, no, half of them came out like last year.
Well, why isn't here best television presentation? That's where Black Mirror is.
Oh, okay.
Now that's weird to me. Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity on Netflix.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus 2. Werewolf by Night.
Oh, okay.
The Midnight Club.
Wait a minute. Werewolf by Night came out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know where the cutoff starts or where the cutoff finishes. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't know what to tell you. Also, Mrs. Davis and the Munsters. Munsters sucked.
Mrs. Davis and the Munsters, the movie.
It must be a cutoff of like
And is it-
November 1st or so, because Werewolf
Yeah.
by Night came on Halloween last year. So did the Munsters. That was last
You're
year.
right.
Isn't Mrs. Davis a
agree with everything
TV
you
show? Mrs. Davis
What's
is
that?
a TV show. Mrs. Davis is the TV show, and they have it in with the Munsters, the movie.
Well, best television presentation, and Munsters was direct to streaming. So I guess that's and
okay.
Hocus Pocus too.
Oh,
You gotta-
okay.
I didn't know
All
that
right.
came out.
All right, that makes sense.
Let's see here. Any other ones that we give a damn about?
Ooh.
Best new genre television series: Andor, The Ark, which I love, Last of Us, Lord of the Rings, Silo, The Walking Dead, Dead City, and Wednesday. I've got actors in a television series. You got Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, Sam Heughan from Outlander, Diego Luna for Andor, Anson Mount for Strange New Worlds, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, interesting, Harold Perrineau from From, and of course Patrick Stewart for Picard. Best actresses, you got Katarina Balfe from Outlander, Lauren Cohen for Walking Dead Dead City, Emma D'Arcy for House of the Dragon, Rebecca Ferguson for Silo, Tatiana Maslany for She-Hulk, Rose McIver for Ghosts, and Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois on Superman and Lois. There you go. All right. So food for thought. We'll see what happens.
And Jess Bush is nominated.
Oh, is she for supporting?
She's supporting
God,
actress.
actually, thank you, Wayne, because you're right. For supporting actresses, it's like almost all Star Trek. Jess Bush, Celia Rose Gooding that's Uhura, of course. Genevieve O'Reilly for Andor, Jerry Ryan for Picard, Sackhoff for Mandalorian, Sophie Skelton for Outlander, and Rebecca Wasaki for Ghosts. So, I'm wondering if with all these actors and actresses. Oh, and I know Frakes got it for best support. Oh yeah, there's another one for best supporting actor, guys. Frakes for Picard, Spaliers for Picard, Stashwick for Picard, Harvey Gillen in What We Do in the Shadows, Ernie Hudson for Quantum Leap, Ethan Peck for Strange New Worlds, and Matt Smith for House of the Dragons. I'm wondering if in a case like that, that's going to split it, and somebody like Matt Smith or Ernie Hudson or Harvey Gillen is going to win.
I'm going to predict that someone from Star Trek is going to win that category.
I'm wondering if they're going to split the vote. I don't know. Especially, three of them or two of them in the same show in Picard with Spaliers and Frakes, and the women too, for all the women in Picard. Crazy. No thoughts. All right, excellent. Really glad about it.
There's also best guest star in a television series, and there's also some more Picard nominations in Strange New World.
Do it, Wayne.
All right, Gael Garcia Bernal for Marvel's Werewolf by Night, Giancarlo Esposito for The Mandalorian, Nick Offerman for The Last of Us, Amanda Plummer for Star Trek Picard, Andy Serkis for Andor, Paul Wesley for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Catherine Zeta-Jones for Wednesday.
Kirk got a nomination. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a fan, as we all know. All right, there you go. So we'll see what happens. Santa.
Yeah, for $40, you can vote on 39 of the categories.
I could write that off. Go join tomorrow.
Hey, it might be more incentive for a celeb to do terrific on if they know you're
right. I was going to say, Jonathan Frakes, I voted for you. There.
But if you start saying that to everybody, they're going to catch on sooner or later.
Hey, Henry Winkler did my show, won an Emmy Award the next month. So Ralph Macchio did my show and then came back with Cobra Kai the next month. So we're the just about to hit big, and then what the
wow, yeah. So what you're saying is people still continue a career after they leave your show,
or they die. That's happened.
Oh boy.
We don't want that. No. Poor Denny O'Neil. Speaking of Cobra Kai, Tamlin Tomita in the latest Monarch episode, and I didn't recognize her at first. She plays Kate, the American Japanese woman that was traumatized by the San Francisco Godzilla attack. She plays her mother, and she of course was. Mm-hmm. She's of course Kamiko from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's Commodore O in season 1 of Picard, the Romulan pretending to be a Vulcan. Mm-hmm. She was she's in the pilot for Babylon 5. Lots of shows. Yeah, The Gathering. Yeah. Wow.
She was the controller in the bridge area.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the same role that Eyebrows took over.
Claudia
Christian, who I love, but she's got like Brezhnev eyebrows.
Yeah, she does. Harry.
Or as me and Franco were talking about on Sunday, the mid transition of Bill Bixby as the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
with the big eyebrows and stuff.
Yeah,
those are covers.
That's the Lee Marvin look.
Kind of.
Yes.
I don't have much to say about Monarch other than I'm still enjoying the ride.
Yeah, but it needs more monsters because I don't like too much talky. I'm like, what the hell? I went to the comic shop today, and the first thing guy said to me is like, "Do you watch Monarch?" Yeah, he goes, "Is there going to be monsters on it again?" I go, "That's what I was thinking too." It's like,
Yeah. This episode wasn't as it wasn't as fulfilling.
no.
Oh, I liked it. I'm okay with character stuff, and I mean,
You just got a crush on Kamiko.
I do have they've aged her for being Kate's mother and everything in this show. But no, in fact, go to her IMDb page and it's like, yeah, she's still got it.
No, I know. You can have monsters on every week. The budget would be crazy, but
that's the thing, man. You know,
maybe they're saving for a big whiz bang finale. It's gonna be fucking cool.
Well, but the previous week had that gross looking
had a snow mole or whatever they call it with the little weird thing.
Almost like Cthulhu mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, listen. I'm sorry. I'm just happy for Fraction and everything. You know. Oh, I agree with Pete Beiser. He was saying that Stashwick is the man. Yeah, I'd like to see Stashwick get it.
Yeah, he's cool.
And that's right, David. Thank you. You're right. I guess Werewolf did get a.
Oh yeah, it did. But does that really count? A re-release? It's the same show, just in color.
Yeah, but it's sci-fi, so there's only so many.
Well, if Oppenheimer's a thriller, then they could re-release a colorized version.
And Renfield's a horror.
A new release.
That confuses even more so. But I hear you, Wayne, about Redfield being a horror. I understand. When Redfield's a whore, what? Did I hear that right?
Well, he kind of is, but yeah.
And how about isn't Redfield also the new Lex Luthor?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that kid. I've loved that kid since
X-Men.
About a Boy.
Oh yeah, he was in that too.
Oh yeah, certainly X-Men too. Man.
Yeah, Hank McCoy.
Yeah. Young Beast. Yeah.
First
class Beast. But man, Not My Name Says Talking Monarch. That's a good show. It is a good show. Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
I think we'll get it next week.
I think
next week is we're going to get some kaiju action
for Christmas. They're going to give us
Christmas kaiju.
Kaiju Christmas.
Yeah.
In those cases, the kaijus are over the tree, not under the tree. How about that? So, I like Baby Yoda's Christmas hat on behind Mitch.
Yes, he's a blow.
I can't call him Grogu. I don't like that name.
He's inflatable.
Baby Yoda, for Christ's sake.
Baby Yoda.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still liking all the backstories for everybody. I think I forgot that San Francisco was destroyed, and it was sad to see that.
But
I wonder if Guinan's bar got it.
Possible, but at least the kitty cats know what to do. They can get you out of situations.
Very clever, absolutely. So, let's get to the main event, which is Doctor Who, because beyond the latest episode and the 3 specials, I think where we're at right now, and we'll see what happens with the Christmas special, but I think we're in a really weird, interesting place. I liked The Giggle. I didn't love it. But I did think Neil Patrick Harris was great as the toy maker and fun. All 3. And first of all, guys, what did you think of the last episode?
I liked it. Thought it was fun.
I liked it. It was good enough, but I'm real confused by the ending.
Yeah.
Me too. That's why I knew there's going to be a lot to talk about and stuff.
I thought it was just a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
In terms of that's what it should have been, or
they should have just scrapped all of them. Well, scrapped the first 2 and just show this as the Christmas episode, and take out Tennant, take out Tennant, and go straight from what. Well, John and I were talking earlier, and I think what would have been really better, and it would have done Jodie a lot more justice, is have Jodie regenerate into him, and then this episode, The Giggle, would have been the Christmas episode that they could have done. And you could still introduce Donna, and you could still play off the fact that if she sees the Doctor again, something could happen. But since they wouldn't recognize this face, you could do a lot more with the story.
Oh, yeah. Could have been Jodie Whittaker.
Just go straight from Jodie into Judy. I think this was a wasted episode. They're just trying to build up some goodwill. And
I disagree with you. I can see the potential story-wise what they can do,
Mhm.
but I I think yeah maybe they should have shown Jodie into Tenet, but I like the 3 episodes because it set up um kind of like a this is going to be the normal, but then you think he's going to change into the new guy, and forgive me, I don't even know his name.
Trudy Gatwa.
Right. So it transforming into him, but kind of swerved left, and I kind of like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
I'm confused because I didn't know that's a thing that could happen. Because they've been saying for years and years, he just he's bi by gender or
Regenerates.
whatever,
I
and he
generated.
can
I
regenerate.
generated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what?
Well,
what,
if
what
it's
happened?
easier, Franco, the new guy's 15.
Yeah,
And-
no, I was going to say that because they, like we said last time, they redid the numbering. So when his show starts at season 1, I thought they were going to just put a bookend on all 60 years of it and say it's
So did
been
I.
great and do almost like a multiverse thing and then close the door on the David Tennant TARDIS and then open up a whole new world with all new history and all new. Just
I
started.
thought that's where they were going to go too, but then
But they are.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, but they are doing that by doing the bi-generation. Davis has said all the doctors have bi-generated throughout the timeline, so
Yeah.
that they can now tell more tales from the TARDIS, so that they can do other people playing the Doctor who we've never seen before, because every Doctor in
Yeah.
history has now bi-generated at the same time as when Tennant bi-generated into Judy.
No, but the problem is they said in the show that was a myth and it never happened before, but then it just happened the first time. So if you're going to go back and say, "Oh no, every time they've done it before,"
Yeah, I don't buy that theory.
No, I don't
but
buy
this is
that
what
at all
Davis has
because
said. Russell
no,
T.
I
Davis
know he
says
could
it.
say
I
that,
don't
but
care what he says. What is he, the showrunner or something?
but I'm like that undermines everything. That just like
So
wipes
basically,
out
what
all
you're
the-
saying, or what he's saying, is there's 32 doctors now running around
Yeah,
somewhere.
no,
Yeah, I don't buy that. Yeah, I don't buy that. Sorry.
because
I-
the whole Jeopardy was he was originally only supposed to have 12 regenerations, and that was like a big plot point. Like, oh, he's running out, and then when it got to that number with Matt Smith, you were like, oh, I guess that's the end of it. And then he breathed into whatever
yeah.
it was. The Time Lords came back and they gave him a boost, and he got to do it all over again. So that was kind of like a relaunch or reboot type of thing. Then, so whatever, but no, you can't go back.
Respectfully, what's his face? Peter
Capaldi?
Capaldi was 13, but I hear
Yeah, all right. Well, they had the War Doctor, so I don't know where that fits in now.
Right.
Yeah, he does fit in.
John Hurt. Yeah,
That's right. You're right about that. We all know why, the real reason why David Tennant came back. And it was
Ratings.
because, for better or for worse, they lost a big chunk of the audience. And I don't blame Jodie Whittaker at all. It's Chris Chibnall and the writing choices they made for those 3 seasons.
absolutely.
And it's a shame, but they ruined the show, not completely unrepairable. But I do think with this bi-generation, and also as here, I'm going to give a couple of comments here. Chris says, I hate the bi-generation. Keep everything the same, but before Tennant is about to be shot, have a freshly regenerated Gatwa and his TARDIS appear to step in and beat the Toy Waker. Then Gatwa can talk Tennant's 14 into taking a vacation, leaving Tennant's regeneration off screen. Well, I just think, first of all, I'm disappointed that we never got a real reason why 14 looks like David Tennant.
Yeah.
The only one little thing we have is if you go back to the 50th anniversary, when Tom Baker talks to Matt Smith, and Smith says, I never forget a face, and he says, I know you don't, and sometime in the future, you may revisit old faces. So that line is in there, and that is canon, so I guess that leaves that opportunity. But I was really hoping for a better explanation of why, other than, oh, you miss having a family.
That's stupid. You know what the other thing is too? The fact that they left the other TARDIS there, and my wife she doesn't watch it, but I said, just watch the end, and she saw it. She goes, so wait, now there's 2? I said, it's like 2 popes when we had the 2 pope thing going on. You're like, wait a second.
That still
Because we
confuses
brought
me.
this up in the comic store today because, again, it takes away some of the whole Jeopardy on the show because well, then one of the guys at the comic shop said, well, that's good. Then if they ever get a situation, David Tennant could come and save the day. I go, no. You can't do that. There's only one Lone Ranger. There's only one Superman. You can't have a backup Doctor Who like, the new Doctor's in trouble. Don't worry. Here comes David Tennant. He's your backup Doctor Who. He's got a TARDIS as well. You can't do stuff like that. And they've already done 2 David Tennants years ago when they put him on the other multiverse with Rose Tyler. So this is like the third. Well, 2 Doctor. I don't know.
Although that one that's with Rose, I don't believe still has
he's half human. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was half human. But it kind of waters down when the last David Tennant episode was like, I don't want to go. That whole bit.
Sure.
Just like they said this week, Marvel, they're not going to redo the Tony Stark thing because that would take away from the whole dynamic snap of the fingers.
I agree.
You gotta let the hero have his grand finale, and you gotta move on. They could have just, and you said the same thing. I was watching and go, so exactly why did he turn back into David Tennant? And they never said it. I went and rewatched it, and I go, no, there's no explanation on what he needed a family. That's total bullshit,
And Davies obviously isn't going to go back to the well and immediately put Catherine Tate and Tennant. I know in the press he's like, oh, I'd love to have them for specials. Yeah, but you got to establish a new guy. But the thing is, it kind of handicaps 15 Gatwa because it's always in the back of our heads of, hey, this guy's, God forbid, because I'm rooting for the guy. I like him a lot. I think he's a good actor, and I think it's a great opportunity to have a fresh spin.
He looks great in underwear.
He did.
Yeah, sure he did. But good thighs. But I trust Davies. I think Davies is a good Doctor Who writer, and I think he's capable of bringing the show back from Chibnall's, mistakes. But that said, there's going to be a portion of the audience the whole time that's going to go, I don't like this guy. I want David Tennant. He's still
it's the same thing when they did the 2 Captain Americas. You get your cake and you eat it too. You can't do it. They had Sam Wilson, Captain America, and I'm a big Cap fan, obviously. And then you had, Marvel's like, we can't totally get rid of Steve Rogers because it's been around for 75 years. We're going to have 2 Captain Americas. So I was literally buying 2 Captain Americas every month from Marvel. They're both good stories. They're both good characters. But at one point you sit there and go, what are you doing here? You can't keep doing like multiple. It's not the Green Lantern Corps where there's like 50 Green Lanterns. That's fine. They're all from different planets and stuff. But even that got a little crazy. You had God Guard, you had Hal Jordan.
You have like 5 or 6. You have 5 or 6 of them.
Again, there's a thing about being the last one. I don't know why. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda's the last Jedi. Boom. Oh no, there's about 50 others. We got Ahsoka. We got this guy. You got that guy we never talked about over here. It's like, dude, I get it, but you're watering down your own mythology by doing all this little scapegoat type of storytelling.
But even more so when you got David Tennant, who literally had 5 of his own years, however many seasons it was, plus these 3 specials. And the other thing, going back to just the 3 stories in general, they didn't have the importance until the Toymaker, sort of. It was great to see Mel back. I think that was a nice redemption for that character that was only annoying during the Colin Baker and McCoy years. But I don't know. I think, first of all, Chemdog, you're right. The idea that Time Lords can get new regeneration cycles was that was something that the Time Lords offered the Master if you would help the Doctor in the 5 Doctors thing. But also, let's not forget that the Master was able to regenerate as well by stealing Nissa's father from Legopolis. Gee, who watched Doctor Who? Me. Exactly.
I like Kerm Dog's second comment dealing with family. If he misses his family, he should go back and find Susan.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, really.
Right.
No, you're right about that.
Well, maybe he can now.
I don't know.
That's the thing.
I don't know. Oh, and also, Chemdog, I agree with you that he liked how the Missy's gold tooth was there and was picked up.
That's going to be the new Master at the end. Mm-hmm. So, speaking of fan service, too, my wife said, oh, so he's got a girlfriend now with Catherine Tate? I go, no, she's married to that fellow right there. She's like, oh, why is he with them? I go, well, that's his family. And she's like, wait, what's happening now? I said, well, the only one of you he kind of loved a bunch of people. They even alluded to it, like, oh look, you loved Amy Pond, she died. Oh, you loved Clara, she died. And they showed what happens to anybody who gets too close to the Doctor. They end up in a bad way. And then he's telling the thing again. Talk about fan service. He's like, oh, and I love Sarah Jane. Everybody loves Sarah Jane. She was a great actress. Liz Sladen was fantastic, but I never ever thought of the Doctor ever, because he lives to be 1 billion years old. It's like all those Highlander stories. Whenever you got an immortal character, they don't get too attached. Thor with Jane Foster, it's like, yeah, it's like a puppy. They're gonna die on you no matter what they do. They're not gonna be as long as you. You'll love them, but they only got like a short lifespan. I can't imagine the Doctor ever going, but I really loved this human, because in his grand scheme of thing, it's like a week. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I knew Sarah Jane for about 2 years. Well, when you're 1 billion years old, it doesn't really have an impact on you.
If you actually thought of the Doctor hooking up with anyone, it would have been with Romana.
Oh yeah, because she was a Time Lord as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, but again, I get why, and I think they did a very good job of explaining Donna and 14's and 10, because he was also 10. But the Doctor's relationship with Donna. They're friends. They're best friends. I mean, that before we get to I Don't Want to Go, when Donna knew that she was getting her mind wiped, it's like, but we were supposed to be mates. We're going to roam the galaxy together. And it's heartbreaking, because it's like, hey, we're friends. And it's like,
well, you just brought that up. Actually, there's almost 3 Doctors now, because the Dr. Donna, she's got the whole Time Lord thing going on, and a whole human, and her daughter is kind of like a sub version of that. So we're repopulating the entire Time Lord race on the Earth now. It's like, wait a minute, there's no more Gallifrey, but don't worry, London. Anything happens, you got 3 or 4 people that can save your ass in a minute.
Gore Vidal says, "By generation waters down the drama and tragedy when every Doctor died."
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely. And
I'm going to disagree with all you guys.
Sarah Jane. Yeah, it's official that Sarah Jane died. Yeah. Go ahead, Francis.
From a story standpoint, I think it opens up a whole new world into what they can do with this new guy, in terms of what happens when he has to regenerate, when he passes on or something like that, and doesn't involve the last Doctor, David Tennant. So story wise, I could see the potential. And
quad generation, perhaps.
No, I can see the potential for something really big happening in bringing him back to save the Doctor or
100%. Yeah, but if I may, one second, Mitch, because if I may, that possibility was already there and established during the 3 Doctors.
Yes.
In that, at any point in any previous Doctor's time area or time period, he can, like, and literally,
I didn't see any of that. So
no, I was going to say,
watch those.
No, John brought it up because those were the best shows back in the day when they would do an anniversary special. It was always a big deal. You had the 3 Doctors. That was the first time they did it. Then they did the 2. Well, they did the 5 Doctors, but Baker really wasn't on it. Then they did the 2 Doctors, and then they did the War Doctor when you got to meet Matt Smith's Doctor. David Tennant came in, and then we brought in John Hurt. It was always so cool. But like you said, to do it like this, it's like, well, wait a second. There could be 14 Doctor episode special. You don't want that. You really don't, because
like the multiple man.
No one's going to shine. You know what I mean? Not one's going to be the one you remember.
It's up to the producer to not abuse what is established. And I do trust Russell Davies, and I think he absolutely wants Ncuti Gatwa to have the best possible ability to succeed. But I don't know. Gore Vidal, another comment. The new Doctor and companion look extremely young. They could pass for teenagers. I don't know if that will be enough to attract new younger viewers. I don't think so. Well, Gore, let's not forget that I think, first of all, Rose obviously did. I know she was with Eccleston. And I think Matt Smith proved that and Matt Smith and Amy, I think, proved that a young Doctor and companion can succeed. And I mean, again, We'll see. It's up to the rest of the audience to decide. Chris says, did we see that Eccleston said he would come back if they sacked Russell Davies? Yeah, it's like Sean Connery with Cubby Broccoli. So, I mean, listen, Eccleston is doing Big Finish audios as the 9th Doctor, which is great. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know how long Russell Davies will be around? Will it just be to right the ship for a year or two and then he'll go away again? I don't see him lasting the length of time that he did during the Eccleston and Tennant era. But that's me. I don't know.
No, I think have they established, like, does he have like a 3-year contract or something? Have they
I have
said
no idea.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if it's like in his clause. It's almost like a football coach. If I get so many wins, you guys got to give me a bump. It's like if I get your ratings back up, I'm out of here after 3 years, because he already did his time. He did 5 years with Tennant. He did 1 year with Eccleston, and that was it. And then the other guy I never cared for.
Stephen Moffat. I like Stephen Moffat. I thought he was
okay, but Moffat's stories were always like a very big build-up. In the last 10 minutes of the show, they would play that crazy music, din, 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 and then Matt Smith would run around like a lunatic, and that the show would just wrap up magically. It's like, I've invented it. We're going, blah, blah, blah. And it was so. I'm like, that's it. You painted yourself in a corner, but it's okay. We have magic, and that's how we get out of motion. So every Matt Smith was like that. And then when Capaldi came on, they got a little more serious, because I don't think he was going to go for that. And then it started going on a downhill thing towards the end. It was getting too dour. Oh, with Billy. When Billy came on, and the bald guy, who was really funny actor. But
I like that guy. Yeah, he's great.
It was just, and again, there was another Doctor episode, because remember, he didn't want to regenerate, and he went and met the first Doctor at that World War I.
That was fantastic.
That was a good Christmas one. Yes,
absolutely.
And with the Brigadier's dad, that was a good story when you brought the two together. And then they became Jodie Whittaker, and they had 1 or 2 good episodes about the Indian-Pakistani war. It started off high, and then it quickly went downhill fast, and I never bothered with a lot of them. I just would DVR them and go, yeah, no, I'll watch them some other time.
I did the same thing.
I think they're still on my DVR, and I'm like, I can get back.
The Amazon episode's pretty funny.
Which one?
There's an Amazon episode that Whittaker did in Whittaker's
okay. I watched the one when Jack Harkness came back. I watched the Dalek thing. They tried, but
the power of the Doctor was okay. Jodie's finale, it was okay, and I loved the companions having kind of a therapy group together, and it was so great seeing Ian, who's in his 90s, that actor, and it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And also the reasons to have the other Doctors show up the way that they did. That was cool with Tegan and Ace seeing their doctors and stuff. And Ken Dog is correct. They are already shooting Gatwa's second season.
Oh, wow. Already. So, well, I was going to say the toy maker.
Yeah.
That's his name. I'm thinking of the Superman villain.
Oh, no, Toyman is
Toyman. Yeah.
Toymaker is Dr. Who.
I watched the making of, because it was on YouTube, the behind the scenes stuff, and Doogie Howser there. What's his name? Neil Patrick Harris. He didn't know Doctor Who at all. He got a text from Davey saying, I want you to be on the show. He got it on Twitter. He got like a DM. He's like, what the hell is this? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. I love how they just go ahead. I'll do it. It's a paycheck. I'm not working. And he goes, I have no idea. And then he's talking about the filming of it. He goes, a lot of things are exploding. A lot of people are running around. I get it. It's a big show. It's a big to-do. But it does take it out of it, because he has no clue. He's an actor. I get it. But there was never a big threat, I thought, with the toy maker at the end of the thing, where there's Unit and he's going to change everything. I'm like you said, it didn't seem the all 3 of these episodes, the one on the spaceship seemed like a throwaway from season 1 or 2 years ago. The whole thing with the comic book one they got from Dave Gibbons' book years ago, it was cute with the Meep.
Yeah.
And then none of them were like, oh my God.
Thank God,
it didn't have back, It could have been anything.
It didn't have the impact of the other anniversary.
No. And when they got together with when they got together with Donna, I was like, oh, this is going to be monumental, because he's going to stop her from catching on fire. They kind of did a little thing with the Spock thing, with the wall between him, and she sacrificed herself. It's just a gotcha. I'm not really dead. Don't worry about it, because my daughter's here. And I'm like, it was okay. I'm not saying I was disappointed. It was better than the last 3 years of the Jodie Whittaker stuff, but.
Do you know what really bothered me about Neil Patrick Harris? He had a lot of teeth when they did a close up. He had more teeth than normal. I think they were very small. And
I got to rewatch it. I didn't notice that. Well, he is kind of a immortal that can change reality and everything. That's another thing that I suppose that's part of the bi-generation thing. They said because the toy maker was in our universe, and also that they defeated him, that they had access to some of his reality changing properties, I suppose. I love what Kit Kat Sneak Attack said here. He said after seeing NPH in this, he would make a great Dr. Smith.
He would.
Oh, the pain.
Oh,
I always thought Tom Hiddleston would be a good Doctor Who, and then when I watched Loki, I was like, "Oh my God, they're doing Doctor Who right now, basically." Because Hiddleston.
My dear.
seems good.
I got to do my Jonathan Harris. My
you know
dear
who
boy.
did Dr. Smith was
Pokey Part.
Gary Oldman?
yeah, Parker Posey.
Oh,
Yeah.
Parker Posey was a good Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that show was good. No, I like that show.
Remember when they were going to make the American Doctor Who? When they
Yes.
tried with the Fox thing and it just bombed.
Yeah,
But
what's his
years
face?
earlier, I had
It-
heard that when Dan Aykroyd was trying to do Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like in the 80s, they were trying to think the thoughts of a Doctor Who American show was even tossed around back in the 80s. I don't know who they would have picked, but man, I don't think it would have lasted here. at
Well,
all.
again, much like Colin Baker, and now I'm blanking on the Eighth Doctor's name, and I know the chat will.
Sylvester McCoy.
Paul McGann.
Oh,
Paul
McGowan.
McGann. No, Paul McGann.
McGann. Yeah.
Paul McGann and Colin Baker were massively redeemed on Big Finish audios.
Yeah.
Like there are dozens, if not more, of Paul McGann Eighth Doctor things, and Colin Baker is fantastic on the big audios. Excellent. Oh, hilarious. Gore Vidal wants Don Johnson as Doctor Who.
There
Hey,
you
how
go.
you doing? I'm a Time Lord, pal.
Wow.
With the
Nash
scruffy
Bridges.
beard.
Only if he wears neon-colored overcoats.
Yeah, or white.
And
Yeah,
no,
linen,
no socks.
white,
No
white
socks,
linen,
yeah.
white linen jackets. Absolutely.
You know
And
what?
The
The
harness
reason
is
why,
it's a Ferrari.
That's a retro look. I mean, that kind of works as the Doctor.
the
He could
reason
be-
why we started watching Doctor Who in the 70s is because my mom thought Tom Baker looked like Gene Wilder, and she loved Gene Wilder with the big
Oh, that's
hair.
funny.
When I,
Sure,
when, I went to see
Wilder.
when I went to see Willy Wonka, I would always think that could be Doctor Who because he had the suit and he had the car and the light thing. I'm like, yeah, Gene Wilder could have pulled it off back in the day if they ever went in, wacky science fiction world.
Totally agree.
Peter
Totally.
Sellers would have been a weird Doctor Who, but that would never.
Oh,
John
happen.
Wilder?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
No,
No,
I'm just trying to think of who could have pulled it off. You know who would do it, but he'd be too self-loving? Mike Myers.
self-loving.
Like it's all about Mike Myers. He'd play
Canadian
every
Doctor.
character. He would play Davros. He would play Unit. He played the Brigadier. It would be like,
Man,
oh no, I can't do
That Illuminati show that he made for Netflix
Oh.
was so disappointing.
that Canadian thing when he was the guy from Canada. Oh, the
Yeah, it
humor
just
was like,
Yeah, not
what
funny.
year was the humor on that stuff? Like from the 80s? I'm like,
Well,
that's.
do you remember when on ABC he was the host of that new game show and nobody knew it was him?
Mike
Was it
Myers?
the Gong Show? Yeah, he was the host of the Gong Show or something like that.
Did not
No,
remember.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was only like a few years ago.
Really?
Here, Steve's got a suggestion. He doesn't know if it was real, but he saw a photo years ago if Donna Sutherland would have been
Huh.
Doctor Who. That would have been interesting. He's got the look. No, I've watched and heard and read so many different possibilities of casting and stuff.
yeah.
yeah.
Jerry O'Connell. Get Jerry O'Connell on the phone. He could be the American Doctor Who.
Too pretty. Too
Oh
pretty.
no, wait, it's called The Sliders. They already did that show.
Yeah.
I love that show.
I did too.
I'm so bummed. I totally blanked to not talk to him about Sliders.
But I know. I was thinking that when I'm walking down the hallway with him, bringing him into Terrificon. Months later, I'm like, holy shit, that was Quinn Mallory the whole time, and I didn't even say, hey. Remember when your brother came on the show? Your real life brother came
Yeah.
on. He was like an
That was
Amish
good.
guy. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a picture of when. Yeah, he was the host of the Gong Show, not too long ago.
Stand by.
that's-
Zooming.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
totally
hilarious.
weird.
So the whole thing was he was they didn't say that it was him, and his whole thing was like, oh, he's going to do this whole new character, and it was like, who is this guy? And it turns out it's Mike Myers. It's revealed, but like
Nobody
just
cares.
bombed horribly.
Chem Dog says something, and I've been waiting for this for years. Sean
Yes.
Pertwee was just like his dad when he
Does.
cosplayed as the third. The face is identical. So
Oh,
all you
the
need
voice as well too when he
all you,
talks.
all you need is all you need is a good wig. All you need is a good wig. And I've kind of been waiting for an anniversary show where Sean Pertwee shows up as the third
Yep.
Doctor. And isn't it interesting? Jamie, the actor that plays Jamie from the Troughton years, on the audios imitates Pat Troughton, and it's good.
Oh,
He's John Colshaw. I know, the great British impersonator from Dead Ringers, does a Pertwee when they need him and stuff.
Didn't they use Troughton's son in, I think, some of the Doctor Who stuff?
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know they use
Sadly,
Scott's son.
You know where John Pertwee passed away? Connecticut. It's true. I swear to God, he was doing a sci-fi convention and he had a heart attack. I'm like, what the hell, Connecticut? So it's like the nexus of reality here.
On
the Swamp Thing, or the man.
On Tom Baker's Facebook feed, they had this great photo of 2, 3, 4, and 5 all being together in Chicago for the 20th anniversary.
I saw that picture last week.
And it's a great photo, and I didn't see that, but I did see they had several events in Chicago for the 20th anniversary. I saw Pertwee in a solo show. I saw Tom Baker in a solo show. And then Davison came, and I know I've talked about this before, with the Brigadier and Harry from the Sarah and Harry early part of Baker's years. And John Nathan Turner was there, and Nissa and Tegan were there. It was like the best meeting ever. And they were so great to all of us. They really appreciated the American fans and everything. So it was cool. There you go. I guess Ken Doug says Michael Troughton has voiced his father. There you go.
You know what? Remember when they humanized the Borg on Star Trek and they kind of took away from when they had Hugh on there? Remember a while back on Doctor Who for the Daleks, they had the crazy Dalek. They showed I don't know if you say crazy anymore, but they went inside and they showed he was lonely. He was trapped inside.
Yes,
was that the Jodie Whittaker one? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Where they were supposed to feel sorry for the Dalek. It's like, oh, what a tragic life these poor creatures had.
Well, there were a couple different ones. There was the Eccleston first appearance of the Daleks again.
Yeah, when it was in the guy's collection. Yeah.
But also when they first introduced Jenna Coleman before she was Clara, she was a Dalek. She was a Khalid inside the Dalek. And
yeah, you're right. They did do that story before, but I don't know. I'm wondering now because you said Russell T Davies. Did you notice that they introduced the ramp into the TARDIS so that
that was good.
She can get into there. But I'm wondering if they're going to retcon and maybe humanize the Daleks. Like, hey, they're not so bad. They're just trying to get a piece of the room. I'm just saying they've done it to the Borg. They've done it to Stormtroopers and Star Wars. They not ruin, but they take these perfect cookie cutter bad guys. You don't have to think about it. They're bad guys. Don't worry about it. And then they do that little.
Well, I'll slightly disagree, Mitch, because if you go back to Genesis of the Daleks, they explain that there is an alien being inside the shells, and the reason why they have the shells is they used to be humanoid, but because of nuclear war and genetic manipulation, they devolved. And I like that. I mean, occasionally they have, even in the Matt Smith and Tennant years when they've had the Daleks, had a moment of, hey, there's an alien in there that is in agony and everything. So I don't mind that. I think that's okay. What I do mind, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, was what Davies did for the Children in Need 5-minute parody thing that they always do, where now Davros is humanoid again. And it's like, that is, there was nothing wrong with doing these things with the Daleks. And also, Wayne, did you read that there was some physically challenged response? Like I thought
I read somewhere that some of the people that are actually dealing with this, dealing with wheelchairs and that, didn't really think that just because Davros was in a quote unquote wheelchair that he's a villain.
Last week, I said I've never give the credit to the audience that they don't assume. Like I said, if I see a lady with a white streak in her hair, I don't think she's going to kill 101 Dalmatians and make a coat. It's a story, I don't think we're all like evil scientists because they're in a wheelchair.
They underestimate the intelligence of the audience.
I like your Chem Dog's comment there. It says K9 really could have used that ramp. It was funny because I'm like, how did K9 get in there? It's like, guys, give me a lift, will you? Get some retro rockets here, like R2D2.
I like your K9 imitation.
That sounds like Paul McCartney.
Yeah, exactly. If K9 were the fifth Beatle.
No, I'm just saying. I hope they don't change the Daleks ever, or even the Cybermen when they even went in there sometimes, and you saw the tragic people trapped inside. It's almost like, well, you know.
Oh
I
no,
don't want to think about.
Mitch,
I like Indiana Jones. You got the Nazis. They're bad guys. Don't think about it. They're freaking Nazis. You kill them. You don't worry
respectfully,
about it, man.
I disagree, Mitch. I really thought, especially what happened to Bill during the Capaldi
When she
years,
got trapped in it, yeah.
and they had the original Cyberman design going back to the Troughton years.
Yeah.
That's a freaky, creepy design, and it is tragic that there are these humans or humanoids that are trapped in these.
Do you remember the episode where the Brigadier was inside the Cyberman outfit, and he's the one that sacrificed himself and flew up and blew up? It's like, and he does this. I'm like, oh, really? The Brigadier was in freaking Cyberman outfit? Wow, whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Well, like, say, what if Star Trek boy? What if they showed an introduction of two wacky, wild and crazy Klingon brothers? Wouldn't that be an episode? If you didn't have a blood and guts Klingon, if you had a wacky, lighthearted Steve Martin with a batleth through his head, we never saw that. We've always seen the military trick.
Wayne and I were saying the exact same thing this happening. Exact same thing.
Why can't we see weird people? Why can't we see ferocious Ferengi?
It's bad enough we got two Kirks already right now.
And we have seen regarding. Wait a minute. We have seen in the Klingons. We have Worf's mate, Alexander's mom, Kalar, and she was an atypical or an atypical Klingon and everything, and didn't buy into the whole. And B'Elanna, for that matter, as well. Mm-hmm. B'Elanna really didn't buy in all the Klingon BS.
But she was half Romulan, half Klingon. Wasn't
she was half human, half Klingon.
Half human. Okay, I was going to say she wasn't full-blooded Klingon.
Well, I bet that guy had a lot of bruises when he'd have sex with his wife. That's what I'm thinking. Kind of like in Franco's favorite show, The Orville, where the engineer, John is having sex with the really strong chick, and he's breaking ribs, and he's all bruised and bloody. No, it's worth it.
So I do wonder if for the new Doctor, if they're going to come up with a host of new villains, or are they going to just go to the old standby? You'll have one Dalek episode. You got to have that. You'll have a Cyberman episode. You'll have a Suntaran episode. After a while, you're like, bro, I get it. Blofeld's and a lot of James Bond. There's a lot of Spectre, but
Mitch, seriously, Mitch, I can't disagree with you more.
No, because there's a problem.
What?
There's a problem.
No,
there's only 6 to 10 episodes now in these seasons. It's not like they're going with extra money. So at a 6 episode, it's like what we did with Star Trek with the member berries. You're going to have a show like, okay, one episode they're going to do the wacky Spock. You got such a small palette of colors to choose
I want
from.
it much like Star Trek. I want to see Ncuti Gatwa face the Daleks. I would like to see him face the Cybermen. And there are enough past good aliens that can do a callback, like when they brought back the Sea Devils, and we haven't seen the Sea Devils since the Pertwee era. I mean, so no, and of course they're going to create new shit. They've always done that. I hope it's going to happen. Your Christmas wish is granted.
The Weeping. Now name in the last 15 years, they got the Weeping Angels. You got those weird bug-eyed aliens with the long fingers. I can't really think of a lot of.
But those are the memorable ones. But meanwhile, we'd have Mitch go over the episode list. I'm sorry.
Gas mask one, maybe. Are you my mom?
Are you my mom? Yeah, I love that episode.
I remember. I saw that one. That was a creepy one.
That's a good one. Was that Eccleston? That was Eccleston.
Yeah, that was Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I introduced Captain Jack.
Captain Jack showed up.
Right.
In World War II.
The Doctor Dances, I believe, was that title.
But my point is he going to play it safe, John, and just stick to the old reliable, or is he going to try some new stuff, knowing that that's what that got them in the situation to begin with?
I guess
people are turning it off.
I guess we'll have to see, but
all right.
I mean, they already left the breadcrumb of the Master's Tooth,
right?
And somebody picking it up. So that's going to come. Also, the Boss. I know the Star Beast mentioned the Boss, and the Toymaker mentioned somebody that he's working for. So there's a mystery that likely will happen at some point, either this season or next. No, I'm sorry, Mitch. I think you're worried about stuff that it's already been
I'm not
proven.
worried about it, John. It's called trying to make content for our TV video thing that we're doing.
For this
right
BS that we're doing right now.
If you didn't get the memo, John, I'm trying to give you conflict so people listen in. It's called entertainment. Thank you, Wayne. If we all agree with you, John, then there's no point to do the show.
I understand that, and I want us
to educate you, John.
I want us to genuinely disagree, but when you say
I don't believe in any of the stuff I say, John. I'm just trying to give you a sounding board.
All right, whatever.
But Mitch does have a point. It'd be nice to see some new villains.
Thank you. From the
but
Canadian.
It's a foregone conclusion, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I don't.
You can't keep going to the well.
Yeah, you know what else would be great if Sunday happens in a couple days?
Well, I think of what Chibnall said. He said, I won't do a Dalek story. And then what? Oh, no. Now the ratings are going down. They did a Dalek story.
There you go.
Who said they wouldn't do a Dalek?
Chris Chibnall.
Chibnall?
Yeah. He said he would not do the Daleks. And he stayed away from them. And when they finally did a Dalek story, it was because the ratings were tanking.
Yeah.
Chemdog wants to see the Crinoids or the Rutans. I don't even remember by name. I'm sure if I saw them, maybe. Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah. So, Chemdog, has anyone else seen the Christmas special musical clip with the goblins?
Musical?
Yes.
Goblins? That's on the Gatwa Christmas special.
Goblins? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a small little clip. It has him dancing in a rave, wearing a white beater shirt and a kilt.
We call those sleeveless tanks here.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say white. No,
multiple celebrities of Connecticut.
I know. I called it that to my Australian friend, and they were freaked out. They're like, "What?" I said,
they used to have the ethnicity, the DTs, and you can't call them that anymore. So, and that's fine. I respect that. But yeah, what are you going to do? That's hilarious. You're right. That is.
He was looking fleek. Is that the right word?
Let's not get into that again.
Call back from an podcast. I understand. That's you're killing me. What else, boyos? I mean, For All Mankind, still killing it. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so behind on Slow Horses now that Ed's back, season 3.
I just watched episode 1 of the Blue-Eyed Samurai, which was fantastic.
Wasn't it? Yes.
I haven't seen the rest of them, so don't spoil it because I'm going to watch them. But I saw the
first
but
it's the only anime I ever liked. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm watching anime now. This is really well done. It was a good story and everything. So,
well, I think anime is just anime's got some good stuff. I have
I know, but I've never been a fan.
The way the characters look, and this looks like not so much anime, but just like I was reading up on it. It's done by a husband and wife team who are French, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
It just got renewed for a second season. I saw that.
I heard, yeah.
I did see a screwdriver. Yes, it's
the TV remote.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a picture of it, but yeah, they showed it online the other day. It looked like
I read about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
It looks like the remote from the Adam Sandler movie, Click.
Yeah, right, Click. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I've seen this before. You know, with the TARDIS being on 2 levels like that, I don't know why David Tennant didn't just move in. And so, like, I'll be upstairs, like Mr. Roper. You're gonna have to have two TARDISes because that made no sense. There's
young
one
doctor.
thing for the doctor.
Turn down your music.
There's one thing for the doctor to split into 2, but why would the TARDIS need to split into 2?
There's a precedent. Again, there's a precedent.
Why? Because it was in the script. That's why.
Well, that's true, but also it happened in the 5 Doctors. It happened in the 50th anniversary.
There you go.
That's
your new sonic screwdriver.
It's like a marital aid.
Yeah, no shit.
Right? I heard it referred to as a butt plug.
Oh,
okay. I can see that.
Yes, sadly, I can see that too.
I think that's why Mitch said it was a marital aid.
What? I mean, no, you want it to look like the
sonic screwdriver.
I mean, it can. I mean, make variations of that as they did. That's one of the best scenes in the 50th anniversary when Matt Smith's got a very elaborate sonic screwdriver. And then Tennant's got the one that just had the little blue light on the thing. And he's like, are you compensating? Oh, look at me. I'm wearing sand shoes. Just, that was, they were so funny together. Just as funny as Trout.
The little Fez, like, what is that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the with Troughton and Petrie, the way they would go on at each other is really good.
Yeah, that was the best part of those shows. And I did like how 15 consoled nervous breakdown 14, and it's like, it's okay, it's all right, don't worry,
Yeah.
I got it. You know,
Did
that's
you ever
okay.
see when they would do those like specials for the kids, like the Red Nose Day over there? And
Yeah,
they
that's what I'm
had,
talking about. They're called, if I may, Mitch, they're called Children in Need.
all right.
Segments. Yeah, that's
All right, but
that was the Davros. That's the Davros scene.
Well, no, I didn't see the new one. I saw one years ago when they had, I think it was Matt Smith and Peter Davison came on and he said, "Oh, there must be something wrong with the TARDIS's image enhancer." And he patted his stomach. He's like, "Because you look a little bigger than you used to be years ago, because he used to be very slender." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever, just go off."
It was actually Tennant, and he's
Tennant,
Peter,
that's a father-in-law.
Son. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the father-in-law. Exactly.
Where did you see that, John? On YouTube? The new one?
Yes.
Yeah, years ago. Sure. Yeah.
No, I'm saying the new. You said there's a new one with Davros. Where's that?
It's on YouTube. They're all on YouTube like that. Yeah.
Because I subscribed to the Doctor Who channel. I didn't see it on there.
And they also had one where they had all these actors playing the Doctor.
Well, yeah, that
Yeah,
you're
Rowan,
right. Yeah,
Rowan Atkinson was the Doctor. It's hilarious. Everyone was.
Oh, I don't think.
And it was part of the Children's in Need.
I see.
But it's an older one.
Yeah, and Rowan Atkinson was one of the Doctors.
Yeah,
and so was the blonde from Absolutely Fabulous.
Yes.
Joanna Lumley?
The Doctors.
Say it again.
Joanna Lumley?
Yes, Joanna Lumley. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
was also on the New Avengers back in the 70s.
Purdy, absolutely, man. That was the final
Gambit.
show, and you should look up this thing. I forget what it's called, but I want to say either Davies or Steve Moffat wrote it. Eventually he became the showrunner of Doctor Who, but first he wrote that parody, and it's great because Hugh Grant's one of the Doctors in that thing.
Oh.
Very funny, very very funny. Here we go. That a boy, Chem Dog. Curse of the Fatal Death. Yes, and I hear what you're saying, Chem Dog. He's like, to be fair, this Davros is before.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Evolving, yeah, but we'll see, because I also wonder the fact that Tennant shows up in this previous era of Davros, if that screws with the timeline and Davros doesn't ever wind up in the chair. If they keep it in that pre-Dalek period or early Dalek period, then I'm okay with it. But I just think it's a missed opportunity. I think the design of Davros is fantastic, even though it's a little rubber suit BS kind of thing. Yeah. But I just think it's part of the tragedy of the Khalids becoming Daleks. That they devolved, they fucked up. They're nuclear.
No. In Davros' mind, that's the evolution of of his race. We have to become this.
They purged all emotion. They were like Vulcans,
but to survive, and that's Davros' spin. But the real tragedy is they fucked up and they have no choice, or they're going to be.
I had all those Terry Nation books years ago. I think it was Pinnacle. It was a white with a little red circle. I had them in the 80s. I used to buy them at this bookstore in New Haven. And they would have such detailed. It would be the adaptations of the episodes, but they'd have little stuff behind it. Man, oh man, I was so into all that stuff back then.
Me too. Well, again, we didn't have access.
No, there was no internet, so you had to read the novels.
Regardless of the internet, we weren't getting an American television other than Pertwee and Baker and eventually Davison. And so, if you wanted those first episodes or adventures of Troughton and Hartnell and that's how you got them. And it was great.
Yep, read them all.
Oh, I loved them. Yeah, and Steve, I'm glad you brought this up because the Tales from the TARDIS with the classic Who actors. Yeah, they're all wraparounds of old episodes, and that's what you saw on BBC television. You had Peter Davison and Tegan reminiscing about when Adric died, and they showed Timescape, the episode where Adric dies. But there's a front part and there's a back part with modern day Peter Davison and the woman that played Tegan. And they did it for them, and they did it for Jamie and Zoe, I think, were on and did a Pat Troughton show. And I forget I forget all the matchups. But if everybody looks up on YouTube, Tales from the TARDIS.
McCoy and Ace.
Was one, I saw one with Nyssa and the stewardess. Was that Tegan?
Yeah, Tegan.
Yeah, was that one of them? Because I did see that. I was clicking through one day, and I saw that they were in the TARDIS, and it turned out to be she was somebody else. It was just a trap to get her in there, and I don't know what the hell it was. So.
Oh well, wait a minute. No. It was just
it was a Jodie Whittaker episode.
Different because that
was a Whittaker episode.
Oh, I only watched that part because I said, "Oh, I know those two companions. I'll watch this stuff." And then I'm
that
like,
was the last. That was the last one, Power of the Doctor, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
right, correct.
Oh, all right. I try to block out a lot of that stuff. You know, Michael Waterhouse, who plays Adric, you know where he lives, don't you?
Connecticut,
Rhode Island.
He lives seriously. He lives up in Hartford. I try to get him to come to the convention. He won't do shows.
Oh, that's a shame.
I tracked him down. I was like, "Hey, you're the guy. You're the boy who died." I'm like, "Yeah, but
the Wesley of Doctor Who, if you will."
Right.
Very much so. Boy genius. Yeah.
I remember how he died. It was just like, I can't. What was it like? I can't believe this is happening. Or something, just like staring at a view screen, and the whole ship blew up. Like, that's it.
Well, and then Tegan begging the Doctor to use the time machine to grab him before he dies, and he's like, "Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Not gonna do it." In the words of George Bush. There you go.
That's interesting. It was very well done. Did you ever watch the Sarah Jane Chronicles or with the K9 stuff? Yeah.
Yes. Well, and what was great about Sarah Jane, it gave opportunities for like Joe Grant to come back, and that was a guest star on one episode. And she and Joe's like, "You forgot all about me," and he's like, "No, I didn't." He goes, "I saw everything you did with your life." He goes, "You have had an amazing life," and he goes on and tells her, and she's like, "Oh, you do care," and it's like, yeah, he does. He just has to move on. Yeah. I don't know. Again, guys, I don't know what's going to happen. I really feel like and maybe as time progresses and they don't do anything for this coming season or the season 2, that maybe the idea of David Tennant will diminish, but I think it's a mistake. But
I agree with John. It is a mistake.
Wow! I'm getting agreement on the show.
Yeah, no. You're getting agreement. But I also said they should have scrubbed scrubbed these episodes and just went straight to Chudney to be the next Doctor and forget the whole David Tennant stuff.
Yeah, but again, man, they lost half the audience. They had to do some goodwill. I just would have done it slightly again. Like, what do I know? I'm not a writer,
but
like I would have done it.
Stuff.
What's that?
That's like a Panderverse stuff.
Yeah.
When you lose more than half of your audience, what do you expect? I'm sorry. I get it.
It's called the Marvel movies.
Well, and that's a problem we can discuss for another day. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know.
What If's coming on next week? Oh, we could talk about that soon. What If's coming on starting on the 22nd or 21st? 9 nights.
Oh no, there's a lot of nerd shit coming up, guys, to talk about. I'm sorry, Wayne, what did you say?
I was just wondering if anyone's watched the second season of Sweet Home. It's a Korean series on Netflix.
Don't know it.
Okay.
Don't know.
What's it about?
People turning into monsters.
Oh.
All
right.
What was the Anne Hathaway movie where she's got the mental link with the kaiju? Colossus? The Colossus?
Oh,
One word title, and Jason Sudeikis is in it. Great movie, really fun. No, it was not Cujo.
What was it now? It's driving me nuts.
I think it was Colossal or Colossus or something. Hey, it was Colossal. Thank you. There we go.
When did that come out?
A few years
ago.
Really? No, Doctarian. I know when that came out, but no, I didn't know Anne Hathaway did a sci-fi thing.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Good. It's really, really good. Hi, Mario. How you doing? Very good. Yep. Yeah, and actually, I think it's on. It's definitely on streaming somewhere, but I think it's on HBO Max or something right now as well. But it's a very clever idea where she has like a mental link with this giant monster, and slowly discovers it's happening and stuff. And it's like, wow, that's a really clever idea. It was almost like two different movies, but eventually they converge. It's cool.
Anybody watching Rick and Morty?
I am, and it's excellent. I am behind, but I am savoring every episode, and I'm like 2 episodes behind. My God, what a great show! When they brought back Evil Morty and everything they did with the
episode I just watched,
So, although, as I said, the aliens that when they die they become spaghetti, that was pretty gross.
That
And
was,
it's a cartoon, but it was still gross.
and they did a suicide prevention
Yeah.
bumper before it, and I was like, ooh, this is
Ooh.
rough.
That's dark.
Wow.
Rick and Morty's edgy. They don't mind being edgy.
Yeah. The last episode deals with Ragnarok.
Oh,
Oh,
hilarious.
that's too
Is
funny.
is the superhero group again? Are they the Vindicators? Are they back?
No. Oh, yes.
They're funny.
Yeah,
They
don't
were
tell
funny.
me. I'm gonna watch it.
Good stuff. Excellent stuff. Again, man, that's why I was like, I knew Star Trek was ending and it was going to be a while till something new comes out. Oh, and of course we got the news that Strange New World's back in production,
Yep.
and Section 31 starts at the end of January. So that stuff is coming.
Trek's on in
Oh,
April.
In Brazil, I guess it was. There was a convention, and you had Michelle Paradise and Sonequa Martin Green were at it, and they said that we filmed all of the season 5, and then they were told they were canceled.
Oh,
So what they did was then Paramount was generous enough to allow them to go back to film some extra stuff to try to tidy up some of the episodes and try to tidy up the storylines. But yeah, they filmed season 5 without knowing that they got canceled.
writing was on the wall, kids.
Yeah, I don't know how to break it to
I
everybody.
don't know how you didn't notice that. But.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I keep reading all these articles that, well, it's going to be more episodic, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll see more crew involvement than previous episodes. I don't know. The mere fact that the first thing they showed us was, as Mitch and I, or rather Wayne and I, were complaining to each other, watching Michael Burnham surfboard on the Discovery while in warp. Well, she's riding on the hull, and it, you know.
No. It's not on Discovery. It's on the ship, on another ship.
Oh, I thought it was on.
No, it wasn't Discovery.
Wait.
She's on the hull of another ship as it's going to warp.
What?
Oh, good. Well, maybe she'll die then.
I was going to say, how's that?
I told you that. Yeah, that was what I saw at San Diego.
She's on the hull of the ship as it's going to warp, and she's riding the waves or something?
Well, it has that protective shield, doesn't it?
Right.
Oh,
When it's in warp, it's
bubble.
supposedly like a warp bubble.
Yeah, the bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in a spacesuit riding on the hull. It's so ridiculous.
Nice.
But it's
so
not the Discovery. It's another ship that she's on.
Yeah, I don't
care. And Wayne pointed out to me that there's going to be a new captain that's going to be a slight adversary to Burnham, and it's this great Canadian actor. Go ahead, Wayne.
It's Colin Rennie. You might remember him from Battlestar Galactica. He was one of the Cylons.
He's one of the Cylons, yeah.
The first Cylon that is crazy with Adama when they were going to reload the Galactica in the armory. That's that actor.
In the miniseries, he's the first. Yeah. He's the first revealed Cylon, yeah. And then later,
he's playing a Vulcan from Navarre, and he's a Star
Trek. I thought. Oh, and maybe it's the same character. I don't know. Navarre. That's another.
No, it's so funny. There's that stuff that you use up your neti pot thing that you put up your nose, the motorized one to clean out your sinuses. I think it's called Navarre because I saw it at the Walgreens. Navage. I was like,
it is Navage. It is Navage. It's not
is
Navarre.
That Vulcan planet? They're named after a freaking neti pot.
That's like Star Trek Discovery, and initially they're like STD, and it's like, well, that's not a good anagram.
That one.
Let's do DSC instead.
Oh, is that what they call it, Disco?
Hold on, stand by, zooming in.
There's Colin.
It's George Clooney.
I was going to say,
he does look like George Clooney Vulcan.
What the hell?
Man, he's selling his espresso machine.
Exactly.
Already will be happy.
He's
selling
his Navage on Nespresso.
This is on YouTube as well. Sven Gulli had John Pertwee in that 20th anniversary period, and as he said, the coffin almost fell on Pertwee.
Oh my God! Really? Wow.
Yeah. That would have been a tragedy. I should talk to Rich about that. That's next time I talk to Rich, I should mention that. No, it was, dude. I'm telling you, I remember it well. It was because he really, in his usual flourish, would ladies and gentlemen, I am the Doctor. And it's like, yeah, you are. Absolutely,
He was
man.
the James Bond doctor. It was cool because he had all those gadgets in the car. Bessie,
Venetian karate.
Venetian karate.
Or judo.
Oh, that was hysterical. He would walk down the hallway and just like just flip guys with his finger. You're like, what the hell is that? It's like,
Yep.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. And again, now this is where they went too far, in my opinion, Mitch, was like at the end he had the Who-mobile that hovered.
Oh no, that's Bessie.
No. He had a hovercraft.
Oh, the other one.
Right.
Okay, yeah. The
Yeah,
one
it went on
like
the
a dart.
water. Oh yeah, it was total James Bond 1960s, 70s gadget shit. Yeah.
The tragedy was that Roger Delgado died. Although,
That's right.
as I understand it, he would have in the show turned and helped the Doctor and sacrificed himself. In the final stories.
Yeah, he got killed in a motorcycle crash in real life or something like that.
Or a boat thing. I don't remember, but yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
But I liked Anthony Ainsley. I thought he was a good second master. Or third, because they had the decomposing master as well. And I loved Missy. Missy, a big fan of hers, Mitch.
Michelle.
The blonde?
The woman who played Missy, the female master.
Oh, Michelle Gomez, who will be at
Terrificon
next year. Buy tickets now. They are on sale at your local comic shop.
I got my ticket.
In Harrison, New York, and online.
Yes, Chem Dog is right. There was a bad novelty song, I Am the Doctor. That
Which one is the one that posed naked or something got in trouble? That was Joe Grant, right?
Yeah, Joe Grant, Katie Manning.
After this, she was on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
I don't know, but I know she posed nude with a Dalek. I've seen the photo. I assume it was.
He died in a car accident. You're right. The fellow
made that Dalek's year.
So yeah,
he did. Fornicate. He was all over the place.
Fornicate. All right. Anything else? X-rated Dalek.
No. There was a Star Trek comic out today called Picard issue 3. I didn't pick it up though. I think it's a prequel.
I got to get back on the wagon with IDW, and they promised me they'd put me on the press list. They haven't done it yet, and I want to interview more of their comic writers and their artists.
I did see an interview with Patrick Stewart, and he said, "I would like to do another Star Trek movie." I'm like, "Come on, bro, you gone to the well." I know, but at this point, I'm like, it's a nice finale. We're good. Go off in the sunset. We don't need to see another one. We're good.
I'm all for more Patrick. Well, really, what I want to see is more Riker.
Yeah, Riker, but I don't know if
Riker did a great job. But listen, if they got a good idea, let's do it before they pass away. Hey, man, I'm for Shatner coming back. Good Lord.
Listen to his book or read his book. The new, was it Making It So or something?
Yeah,
he goes on about the whole the Picard series, the 3 seasons. He had in there, I don't want to have a cast reunion. I don't want, and he talks about what happened with season 3. He didn't want to have everybody back together. He didn't want to be on a starship. He didn't want to be in uniforms. And then what happened is, I think the execs of Paramount said, "Oh no! If you're doing this again for season 3, you're going to be in your uniform. You're going to be on a starship, and we're bringing the gang back together."
I think
it's going to be. And he said, "Okay, fine." And now he comes to love it, though. He's like, "Oh, and Terry Metalis was fantastic." But if you listened initially, that was never part of the plan. He didn't want to do any of that stuff.
Of course not. No, it was self-evident from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then thankfully he listened, and I'm sure it was nicer than, shut up, Patrick, put the uniform on, or shut up, Picard.
Well, I know he's doing the world book.
Quiet, old man.
He's up in
We'll
Canada.
give you a hairpiece again.
Exactly.
He was up in Canada on a cooking show doing his book.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. What did we make?
What are we making today?
What did he make?
Harry Berg.
Oh, that's the host. What are they?
Harry Berg? What is that?
It's the host of the Canadian show. She has her own talk show. She's this cooking young redhead cooking show. And Stuart was up here flogging his book.
I agree with Chem Dog. I only watched a couple episodes with Chucky, but Shatner's Mission to Mars reality show was entertaining.
Was it entertaining? Really?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was Big Brother with Mars simulations. But at least, I mean, because I hated the contestants, but the problems they had to face, like they had to repair a satellite antenna, communications antenna during a windstorm on Mars. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. Whatever. But yeah, oh no, there was.
So what do they do? Put them on a set with big fans and stuff and blow dust?
No, they were, in one of those giant recreations of that I'm sure NASA uses for training or whatever. But no, they had like a whole big, like a living facility and a couple other buildings out in the desert. No, it was really interesting. I think Kit Kat's asking where you can stream it. I don't know. I know it was a Fox show. I'm assuming if they did stream it, it's probably on Hulu because that's where a lot of the Fox stuff winds up. That's my guess, Kit Kat. So
by the way, speaking of Hulu, did you on your Disney Plus? I assume you guys have it. I don't know about Wayne, but did you notice now when things scroll across the top, Hulu pops up and it takes you right over to Hulu now, so you can start watching.
Well, it's not everything that's on Hulu. It's a lot of Hulu's original stuff, but it's not everything. Because only Murders in the Building is now on Disney Plus. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of streamline and combine everything.
Yeah,
so you get everything in one shot. Because I know that I have Hulu as my live TV provider, and you can get other hubs. So like I can watch Max through there, and I can watch Showtime through there. And I just got a notice saying that my Showtime package is going to increase by $1 because they're combining it with Paramount. So now I'm going to get both of them on there at the yeah.
Oh, that's
and they're rebranding Showtime as Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah,
yeah. At next year at some point. Joshua, have we talked about season 2 Good Omens? We haven't. We should upload season 3. We haven't. We should. We have spoken about Gen V season 1 and and Invincible. I want to hear what you thought of it, Francis.
Of Gen V, I thought it was really well done. I thought it stood alone from the boys enough. And they brought in enough of the boys to kind of, but not too much where if you didn't watch it, you wouldn't be confused or anything.
Totally.
There were a lot of penises in it.
Right.
And there were a lot of penises in it.
And
it did explode.
But that's okay. I don't mind that. But yeah, I think good overall. And I would watch it season 2, definitely.
I think they're going ahead with season 2.
Either that, or I would imagine that some of the stuff that was left hanging might spill into season 4 of The Boys, but I don't know.
When does that start, by the way? I've seen.
I don't know. I saw a teaser, and all it said was coming soon. So I'm assuming late winter or early spring.
Yeah, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan's on it now, and I'm like, and the kid from Supernatural's dead now, so he won't be on it.
You mean Soldier Boy?
I thought they killed Soldier Boy. No, he's a Russian spy.
They put him back in suspended.
Yeah. You're right. You know what the problem? These shows, they're like a year apart. After a while, you're like, wait, what happened? I got to go back and rewatch them.
I hear you. I know.
I can't remember all this shit sometimes. What?
No, it's a shame.
Oh, and a guilty pleasure of mine that's coming up, I think, in a couple of days is Reacher season 2 on Amazon, which I liked. I liked the first season. Yeah,
he's a good dude.
And Invincible season 2 is good.
Yeah.
It carries the same level of goodness as the first season.
You've seen it already?
Yeah.
How have you seen
it? It's on Amazon right now.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, it's on already?
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw the ads for it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it didn't come out yet. I thought it was coming out like next week.
Shit, I'll watch that.
We'll all watch a couple episodes and catch up.
Reacher.
Oh, my wife loves that. Invincible's out, Franco. That's what I said.
We're talking about Invincible, not Reacher. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That
Invincible.
Yeah, that I knew. I have to get to that, but Reacher I was going to watch because I like that.
Yeah. No, me too. I'm with you.
I haven't watched this. Has anyone watched Merry Little Batman?
I did.
Yes.
It was actually very fun. It's a combination of like Home Alone and the Batman movies with Keaton and because the characters are from that universe, I think, because Bane is the big dumb guy that was in the Clooney one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, was that the one with Clooney?
Yeah. Him and Poison Ivy.
Yeah. The artwork style throws me a little bit because the Joker's a little too wild, but it works at the end. And
it's
James
funny.
Cromwell, there's a Star Trek connection because Zephyr Cochran is the voice of Alfred the Butler, James Cromwell.
Oh, and that reminds me, I didn't realize that Michael Gough, who was Alfred in the Schumacher and Tim Burton movies, was the original toy maker back on Doctor Who with Hartley.
Did not know that either. Back in the 60s,
well, because there's only one episode that's surviving, and it's the last episode of that series, of that story.
Well, we got to buy the Target book, bitch, to read the story.
Or you got to. Do they animate that one too, Wayne?
They haven't animated that one yet.
I
Oh,
don't
do
really
they have
a lot of
that
the
stuff.
Troughton episodes have been animated, and a few of the
Do they have the audio of the Celestial Toymaker?
I think they might have the audio, but I haven't read about that for sure.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that they've been doing that. What's that?
You like those black and white cartoons with the voices? You thought
Well,
they
they're
were
not.
good?
No, they're in color. They're not black and
No,
white.
I saw a couple of the old ones with Hartnell. It was the one I watched was black.
Oh, I
and
didn't
white.
see. I've only seen the Troughton ones, and they were in color.
Oh no, the Hartnell ones were black and white.
Are you sure you weren't watching on an old Sony TV or something?
No, a Panasonic. No,
A Philco.
a Philco. No, it was not. I got it from Radio Shack. No, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know this. Chemdog with all the knowledge, man. Michael Gough was also married to Annika Willis, Polly from the Troughton years. That's cool.
Boy, it's a small country over there. They're all married to each other.
Michael Gough was in a lot of the Hammer films too.
He was.
Absolutely.
And he was on the Birds of Prey TV show.
Oh, I didn't remember that. One of the best things about those Burton and Schumacher movies was Michael Gough. He was a great Alfred. He was a fantastic Alfred.
Yes.
There, I said it.
Yeah, well, Merry Little Batman is a lot of fun. Franco would get a kick out of it. It's a little tiny Titans-esque in some of this stuff. So.
Is it Luke Wilson voicing Batman?
Luke Wilson's. Yes, Owen Wilson's brother. Which was the one on Loki? Owen? Yeah, it's Luke.
Yeah.
That's the other
Yeah,
one.
Luke. Yeah. Luke is the one from Idiocracy.
Yeah, that's right. Or Stargirl, as I like to think of him as.
Yeah, yes, that's right. He's Pat Duggan. He's Stripesy.
Oh, nobody saw -1 yet? I saw it. And I know Godzilla -1. One of the best movies of 2023. I've said it before. Ordway went to see it today with his daughter. He said it was the same thing. He said it was fantastic. So
it is the best movie.
Limited release. I don't know what the deal is with the release schedule on this freaking movie. I'm like, why is it only in a couple theaters? It's really good. Why can't you blow it out? And
but probably it's distribution and the fact that it is a Toho foreign film rather than Legendary that I'm sure has a much bigger distribution apparatus
and subtitles. People don't read subtitles.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Wayne. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that complicated.
I don't go to the movies to read them. I'd stay home and have a book.
Yeah, a comic book with pictures in it.
I haven't seen Fired on Mars yet, as Kit Kat asks.
No.
Animated sci-fi show on Max with Luke Wilson.
There's another animated show. There's another animated show on Max that's supposed to be really good called Scavenger Rain.
Oh, jeez. Oh, what's the thing that Zack Snyder's got coming out this week?
Oh, Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon's supposed to be huge. Yeah.
On Netflix.
Really good. Netflix, yep. The big guy that was at our show this year was in it. The big, tall fellow that was in Obi-Wan. Can't think of his name, but anyway, he plays the bad guy in it. So that's supposed to be
new Star Wars movie, right? Supposed to be, or kind of.
Oh yeah, they're gonna make it.
It's the repurposed Star Wars idea,
right?
Yeah. And I saw Adam Driver doing a lot of talk about his new Ferrari movie. And man, when you find out the behind-the-scenes stuff that you suspected, but you hear the actors actually tell you how the stories change on the set with J.J. Abrams, and there was really no roadmap for these Star Wars movies. He's like, when I came aboard, my Kylo Ren was always supposed to be bad to the very end. There was no redemption thing, but then in the third movie, they kind of changed it around and made him go to a good guy. So he's like, yeah, I didn't sign up for that character. I was like, oh, wonder what movie he was watching, because it's not what we got. But
all I know is he was on Saturday Night Live, and Emma Stone was on the week before.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Saturday Night Live has not been good lately. It's very
that chocolate bit was kind of funny.
That was the I was gonna mention it too.
Yeah.
That was the one bit that was funny. I agree with you.
It was a takeoff of the sweaty balls thing. If you really,
100%, which is fine. No, that's good. I thought it was cute.
yeah.
So
You don't like the news? I really just watched the newscast with Colin and Michael Shea. That's
which
the only
is still
thing
great.
that's funny.
But that's the thing, man. And also, good Lord, if you include the writers, please don't destroy or whatever they're called.
Oh,
there
those
are-
two guys? Yeah.
yeah, because they give them a healthy segment almost
They
every
do.
week. There's 20 cast members.
Oh,
That's
I know.
20.
It's too many. Yeah.
It's way too many. I mean, I don't want anyone not to have a career, but by the same token, it's like, I'm sorry, I like have 8, maybe even have 10.
When did it become the norm? Was it with Dennis Miller when the newscast guy doesn't do any sketch work? Because Colin and Michael just do the news. That's it.
Right? They don't do
Any
Well,
other bit.
they're writers for
They are writers.
sketches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying. Years ago, you'd have Kevin Nealon would do a bunch of sketches, then he'd do the news, then you'd have Dennis Miller would
Dennis
even
Miller.
pop up now and then.
Colin-
He wasn't that
I
good.
don't remember. Norm Macdonald did very few when he was doing Update,
And Seth Meyer did a couple here and there. He would
but
do
very few again.
Norm
was
Yeah.
McDonald
the head
did,
writer.
Norm McDonald did Burt Reynolds. I love his Burt Reynolds.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Norm did,
I thought, and he also did Larry King every now and then.
he did.
I think you're right, Mitch. I do think it started with Miller.
Yeah, but I tell you, man, there are way too many people on it. I don't even know. I mean, they're talented people, but I don't know who they are because there's just too damn many of them. I recognize the face when they come on. I go, oh, that's that kid again. That's the young kid that did this character. And that's it. The
great.
only one I recognize is the Asian fella that did the
Owen
iceberg.
Yang.
Yeah, yes, he's very funny.
Bowen Yang is great. No,
yeah,
I think Bowen
he's
Yang is
great.
very funny.
He's in tons of sketches, and he'll show up on
He
the
was
news.
Santos. He was doing George
Yes,
Santos.
yes. That's it. Yeah.
No, but Bowen Yang is very funny. I like him a lot.
And then there's that real thin girl with the short dark hair. She comes on as Colin's manager now and then. I don't know her name, but she's funny. But
Well,
you're
and
right.
again,
There's too many
yeah.
of them.
There's just really, it's like make another show.
I think her name is Feinstein.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
the
20
breakout
something
star.
people. Was she years ago they used to do it with the cast. You'd be a writer and maybe you'd pop up in a background thing, and that's about it. Like they do with Alan Zweibel. I know his daughter. She was a booking agent for a lot of the actors I used to get. And she would tell me he would write along with the guy that ran for Senate, Al Franken. Yeah, when Tom Davies, they would start years ago. They were off screen, but then they slowly worked their way into sketches. Then they actually came to the cast. Yeah,
right.
but,
Like David Spade was initially hired as a writer and then was a featured player and then became a full cast member.
well, that was the thing, though. If you wanted to be on there, you'd have to
Conan
write.
O'Brien too.
You'd have to write for yourself.
Here or there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Conan's really were like almost glorified extras and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like to Mitch's point, he started to show up in some of the sketches until Lauren made him the late night guy.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if a lot of these actors do they write their own stuff. That's all I'm wondering. If there's so many.
Well,
of them,
I think some of them do. I don't even know currently, but
yeah.
Again, it's fine, but there's just too many goddamn many of them.
And Kenan Thompson's been on there for what, 20 years now? I'm not kidding.
At least
20 years.
Isn't that amazing? He's been on there for 20 years.
I know. It seems like he was like, and he still looks like he's 15. Every time I see him, I go, "Hey, that's the Good Burger guy." He still looks like a kid, but he's like what, 40 now, 35.
Yes. And I haven't watched the Good Burger movie yet.
It's out, number 2.
I think so. I'm
Coming
sure.
out if it isn't out yet.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, did you watch that Eddie Murphy Christmas movie? It's horrible.
No, and that bums me out because I think Rodney Barnes was involved with that.
Well, the thing of it is, it's 5 different movies in one. I'm like, pick one, guys. They got the guy loses his job. The girl wants to go to a college, but she doesn't want to go to the college her parents went to. The son wants to be a tuba player. Oh, by the way, he signed a mysterious contract with a demon elf, and he's going to turn into a person in a little Christmas village if he doesn't find all the 12 days of Christmas. It's so much going on. I'm like,
well, now I'm not going to watch it.
No,
Thanks.
but I'm just saying, Eddie Murphy knows a good script. Well, he did Brooklyn Vampire, whatever, years ago, but you got this talented people. You got Diana Ross's daughter's in it, and I'm like, what the hell's going on
How
here?
talented is she if she's still referred to as Diana Ross's daughter?
I can't think of her name, but I know her mom.
But Robin Thede, who was on Larry Wilmore's post Daily Show, and also on the Max show Black Lady Sketch Comedy. She's brilliant, and she's on that, and I believe plays Eddie's wife in that. She's a fantastic comedic actor.
Yeah,
amazing.
But I'm just saying, it's a shame though, because they build it up, they advertise the hell out of it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, it's all right.
What are you gonna do?
They can't know.
Number. I hear you.
Well, I even watched the Jennifer Garner Ed Helms Christmas movie the other day.
Neither have I. I didn't know about it.
Still, they switch bodies with the whole family, like their son and daughter.
Is that the 13 going on 13 sequel?
She actually says that in the movie. The guy goes, "I feel like I'm 13 going on 30," and I'm like, "What is that?" Where they all look in the camera and wink, like, you know. But
thank you, Mario. I mixed up Rodney with Reggie Hudlin. You're right. He's the director of the Eddie Murphy Christmas thing. I hoped it was going to be good too.
Mario, you can go watch it, make up your own minds. I'm just saying, I sat there. I had to watch when I had to watch.
I wanted to until you told me about the entire story.
If I have to watch it over 2 nights because I couldn't take it, that's a sign. Like if it's a good movie, you'll sit through 3 hours. If you're like, oh my God, I got to turn this off.
You know what disappointed me? Old Dads with Bill Burr and Bobby Cannavale.
That's not good.
No. Oh, and by the way, everybody. Moment of silence for the great Andre Braugher.
That was a shock. I was like, whoa.
Man, one of my favorites. Good dramas and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He was such a good dramatic actor, but in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he was hysterical. I love that show so much. All those Michael Shore ones, is that what they are?
Yeah, the guy
that
from the state.
The
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec and the Kristen Bell Ted Danson one.
Good Place.
The Good Life.
Oh man, those are my top 3 favorite comedies of a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I literally was just talking about because Terry Crews was on a talk show the other day, and I go, "Oh yeah, he's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine with the other guy," and that was Saturday. And then last night I'm driving, I'm like, "Wait, he died? 61? What the hell? Andre's dead." Jeez.
I even liked. Do you remember the drama that he did with Ray Romano, Men Behaving
Badly?
Men of a Certain Age.
Men of a Certain Age. Yeah, that's a different show, Men Behaving Badly. Men of a Certain Age. And Scott Bakula. They were the 3 the 3 main stars. That was a good show.
Yeah.
Also, Ian Gibson passed away. For those that remember 2000 AD. Robo Hunter. Ian Gibson.
Yes.
Great British artist.
Yes.
From that band.
No, not the band, but 2000
not
AD.
Deep Purple. Moody Blues.
2000 AD artist. There you go.
2000 AD artist.
While we're respecting his death, let's not misremember him. But yes.
Oh, real quick. This is for Mario. It's a Christmas present. Fuck.
No, Mitch. No, please, Mitch. Don't do that. That's not helpful. Thank you. That's why I didn't put the comment up. I understand, but that's why I didn't put the comment up. Thank you. No, wrong. I apologize, but please don't. Shut up, Mario, would be my comment. Oh, wait, maybe I still have the banner to quiet Mario. I do.
It's about the Cavs? Yeah.
Mario, we don't care what the Mavs are doing. Yes.
Yeah, and Mario's right about Steed and Mrs. Peel was a nice miniseries that he did.
I broke my promise, John, not to you, to my wife, because tonight I said, I got to go do the Suntress show. And she goes, try not to swear. It's Christmas. I go, I'm not going to say it all. So
thank you, Sharon.
I wasn't fired up at all. I was really almost falling asleep upstairs. And I go, I got to go watch this.
All right,
I only did one previous to this. So I was keeping a mental note. But
I got to hug her when I see her.
Keep away from her. But anyway.
You don't worry, Mitch.
Which one of your nerd friends is this one? That's Suntress. Oh, that guy, the Greek guy.
I hate that guy.
Greek guy.
He sucks.
That guy, Franco. She always liked Franco. She said, "I'm going to call Franco." I'm like, "Go ahead."
I'm gonna invite her over for a real.
Yeah,
meal.
I heard. Yeah, because I made her a shitty meal last week of crackers and cheese when she had COVID. I'm like, "Hey, what do you want? It's food. Eat it." Because she said she had a bad cold. She goes, "I can't taste anything." But she needed obviously food, so I'm like, okay, I'm not known.
So I like that. I like the picture she put up. It's a mozzarella stick cut into thirds and
that
some
was,
saltines.
yes, that was legit. She said she wanted cheese and crackers. We didn't have any cheese, but we had mozzarella sticks. So I cut up the mozzarella and I put them on these little tiny Triscuit things, and I think I put a vegetable on there, like a
Because
piece of lettuce.
I posted a picture of dinner that I made.
Yeah,
Like this
that's what
eggplant,
made it bad.
this
asshole.
roasted
Yeah.
eggplant thing, and then
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, this is what Mitch made me."
Yeah, it's true. And she's still alive, so don't let her fool you that she died from malnourishment. So.
I'm gonna invite her over for dinner, but she could leave you at home.
Thank
Wow.
you. I'll go out with Ordway. You'll see. We'll go have pizza and beer like we are tomorrow at Colony Grill. So,
Do you have a movie lined up or no?
no,
Or
we're doing our Christmas show tomorrow.
Just a podcast. Okay.
We just get liquored up and we just talk about you. And then we are going to see Aquaman. We're gonna
Let me
go
tell you
see
another reason why Sutter sucks.
But we do it in code, so you don't know we're talking about you. Yeah, that's that. And then we're gonna go see Aquaman. And I'll throw some things in for Wayne, because God bless Wayne over there. As soon as I drop that podcast, he listens to it the second it hits the airwaves, because he's already commenting about things. And Wayne, isn't it funny? I don't swear on my own show.
It's true.
Because I had a father yell at me one day.
Which
about his
again
kid.
is why, like, why do you do this on my show?
Because
All I do is give you
You bring
a
it out of them.
I
platform.
do. I know this guy. We were at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I'm waiting in line to go meet one of these people. And the guy comes up to me, recognized my voice. I said, "Oh, you did?" He goes, "Yeah, but usually you're saying the F-bomb every other word, and my kid's in the car, and I have to lower the radio." What? AI, buddy. It's not me. Keep it up. You know, in honor of the new Doctor Who, I've been doing this whole show in my jockey shorts. So
Yeah,
you don't
those
sign
stand
up
up.
like I'm going to
Please-
give up. You know,
please
I'm
don't
gonna show you-
stand
I'm going
up.
to show you the leg. Is Artie
Well,
still watching? Look, Artie. My leg.
We're the real Slim Shady. Please sit down.
I
Please
got
sit
no pants on. I've waxed my legs and everything for you.
You waxed your legs.
No, I did
I don't even
not.
want to know whether that's true or a myth. I don't want to know. Thank you.
Ugh.
Yeah. Look, it's
Yeah,
Mitch's
yeah.
hair. That's good hair.
I got a haircut.
All right. Why now you look like John Beatty's.
I know, no, I'm trying to look like David Tennant. I want to get that freaking flock of seagulls thing going on there.
I can do it.
Boy, does he need a shave or what?
Well, it's all right. He was tired. He needed
I
a
was
rest.
just like, Jesus, the money on this show, they can't get a razor blade and shave the doctor? What the frig, man?
He was all disheveled. All his clothes were all disheveled the whole
Yeah,
time.
right?
I was askew and everything.
So wait a minute. So if he's the new doctor, he's really, well, forget it. It doesn't make sense. I
Again,
was going to say, wait, is he really the Jodie Whittaker doctor still, or is he back to number 10?
No. He's after the
He's
Jodie Whittaker.
14?
oh, he's 14
14.
Or is he with an asterisk?
with
Is it like
with
the-
no
Is this
no
like Roger Maris?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Is he like the Doctor Who with an asterisk from now on?
as I said, they established it with Tom Baker when he was in the 50th. He said you'll find in time you'll be revisiting the old faces.
Yeah.
So it's in canon.
I guess.
That's the end. That's the out that they have. So
Gotta
all right,
see
that's
him.
enough. We're
Speaking of
repeating
out,
it.
yeah, we're out.
Yeah, let's move on. No, good job. More to talk about. As we said, look at all these shows. And seriously, everybody, thank you very much for the recommendations of other shows we should be talking about. We'll see if we do or not. Leave that leg down. Put that leg down. All right, thanks a lot, everybody.
Get it
Take
up
care.
now.
Oh, no.